a fine romance.
Oh, that can't be right. Oh. So we're landscape gardening. May I help you? Oh, Mr. Miller. 3 weeks late? You sure? You're sure we quoted you the 14th as a starting date? Yes, you are sure. Yes, I do understand. Look, Mr. Miller, all our jobs and staff assignments are on our computer. If you just hold on a minute, I'll just check. Hello, Mr. Miller? Yes, I'm sorry, there does seem to have been a malfunction, and unfortunately... look, Mr. Miller, Mr. Selway's assistant is in hospital. Now, Mr. Selway got very behindhand with the jobs, but he's doing his best to
Any tea in the pot?
Don't you start on me.
All I said was any tea in the pot.
People have been starting on me all day. People who are just getting at me.
What people?
Oh, customers. Put it another way, ex-customers. We're behindhand with every job, and they're beginning to ask why. I've tried everything. Lying, bluffing, cajoling, putting my cards on the table, pretending I was the wrong number. What do I have to show for it? 2 cancelled orders.
Ah, it's better than yesterday. We had 3 yesterday.
Now, what kind of attitude is that?
Realistic.
Realistic? Mike, you're doing a very fair impression of fiddling while Rome burns.
Oh, well, what else can I do? Charlie's still in hospital. I can hardly drag him from his bed and put him to work, can I?
It's been 6 weeks.
5.5.
Oh.
Selway Landscape Gardening, Mike Selway speaking. Oh, hello, Mr. Anderson. And how are you? Oh. Has it really been that long? Yes, but, yes, you see, now look. Three.
Come on, let's call it a day.
Oh, no, I can't. I've still got another job to do.
What are you planning? Floodlit gardening?
A couple I'm working for have got lights on their patio.
They won't mind someone banging around outside the French windows while they have dinner.
Well, I'm working on the theory that they'd be so pleased to see me that they wouldn't mind if I had a couple of bulldozers out there.
When will you be home?
I don't know, late. Anyway, you'd better get off. I don't pay you to sit there and take abusive phone calls.
You don't pay me at all. I'm a volunteer, remember?
You going off it?
No, actually, I quite like a crisis. I like proving what an absolute brick I am. I just wish you'd been more realistic about Charlie.
Yeah, well, he'll be out in a couple of days.
Oh,
yes,
my.
Well, I better get off now. You never know. If I start work as they start dinner, they might take pity on me, pass me out a bowl of scraps.
So we're landscape gardening. May I help you? Oh, Mr. Miller again. Yes, I was telling the truth. Yes, I suppose it does make a bit of a change these days. Very kind of you to say so. Oh, look, Mr. Miller, does this mean to say we've got the job after all? Provided we can do it by tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
In the big movie.
Oh, you look well.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
10:30 and international snooker at 11:30. And
Did you get your plate of scraps?
No, glass of water. Oh. And they're expecting me to knock something off the bill for using their patio light.
Supper's only got to be heated up.
Oh, you shouldn't have waited up.
Oh, I don't mind. Come on. Oh, Sultan. By the way, Mr. Miller phoned back. We've still got the job.
Oh, good.
Providing we can do it tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, isn't it?
I'm sorry I nagged about Charlie, Mike.
Oh, I put that down to combat fatigue.
It's just that I wish you'd been more realistic.
I promised I'd keep his job open for him.
How long?
Till he's better.
Mike, Charlie's an old man who's had a fairly severe heart attack. He isn't going to get better. Not properly better, anyway.
Have you ever tried hospital visiting? You'd be a real tonic to the patients.
I just wish you'd face facts.
It's as tough as old boots, Charlie.
Well, even old boots wear out.
Well, he's got to be given a chance.
To do what? His normal speed was dead slow. If he comes back, he's going to grind to a complete halt.
Is the supper ready yet?
Mules, they're not in it. Mike working late. He's worked late before. What I mind is him working late because he won't face up to the facts about Charlie.
No.
As far as company goes in the evening, that's a washout. He comes in, says hello, sits down and drops off.
I wish Phil would.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Everything.
But how can it be you're having a baby?
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why should being pregnant make everything perfect?
Well...
Yes, well, it's not all it's cracked up to be. And I've got another 7 months of it in store.
Oh, you're just feeling depressed. Think of the end result.
If I think of the end result, I get really depressed.
You were ever so happy last week.
Yes, well, last week I just stopped being sick in the mornings.
Well, that's something, isn't it?
No, it's not something. Now I'm just off it altogether.
Off it? What? Oh, it?
Right off.
Off it?
Yes.
Well, it's not that important, is it?
Well, it is to me. I like it. Well, I used to. When I was a proper unpregnant woman, I liked it. Not now, though. Oh, babies. Oh, stop him, Laura. I look a mess.
Oh, I'll stop him all right.
Hello, Laura. Where's Helen?
She's in there.
Ah.
Now, just a minute. I've got something to say to you.
All right, shoot.
Helen is my sister.
Is she?
Now, look, don't try to be funny. You know what I'm talking about. Is it really that important?
Is what?
Sex.
Well,
Well, it isn't the end of the world, you know. I mean, is it such a great sacrifice to go without it for a while?
no.
You have a bare-faced effrontery to stand there and say no.
Ah, sit down and say it if you like. You got the wrong end of the stick. It's a habit of yours.
Then why is my sister so upset? Look, I'll tell you, it's you. What right have you got to make her feel so guilty? Good Lord, it isn't a whim on her part. It's something to do with pregnancy. Something which you obviously don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. Sexual desire, or libido, if you like, is often reduced during pregnancy, especially during the first 14 weeks.
Yes, something like that. That's roughly it.
Yeah, in other words, I know what I'm talking about, and you don't.
Oh, don't shift your ground.
I'm not shifting my ground. You're up the paddle without a creak.
Creak without a paddle.
Yes.
What are you doing? I'm sorry, Helen, but somebody's got to make this sex maniac understand how you're feeling.
But he does. He's being lovely about it. That's why I feel so rotten.
Come on, come on. Sorry.
If you pretended very hard that I hadn't been here today, I would appreciate it. Look, Mr. Miller, I think you and I have reached an understanding whereby you know I don't lie to you, I don't flannel. I do tell you the exact truth. Yes, so I'm happy to tell you that Mr. Selway's left 5 minutes ago and is on his way to you now. Yes. Goodbye.
I'm starving.
What are you doing?
Well, I thought I'd be totally self-indulgent. Take 10 whole minutes off for my lunch.
But you can't. I've got Mr. Miller to the point where I tell him the truth and he believes me. And I've told him you left 5 minutes ago.
You always tell him the truth. Well, I'll eat on the way. Oh, by the way, I'll be late again tonight. Charlie was discharged from hospital this morning and I thought I'd pop round and see him.
What?
Well, haven't you anything to say?
No.
Nothing at all?
No? Don't look so suspicious. I am capable of not rushing in with an opinion.
Oh, yes, when was this?
One more remark like that and I'll ring Mr. Miller and tell him you left 2 hours ago. Give my love to Charlie. Ooh. Hello, Mike. How's Charlie?
He's fine, it's fine. You want one?
No. How fine is fine?
Ah, very much his old self, really. Didn't have a good word to say about the hospital, doctors, nurses, the food. He even grumbled because some kind soul had his cap cleaned for him.
When's he coming back to work?
You know, it's hard to imagine that you're the same girl who cried her eyes out over Bambi.
Look, I'm just worried for you, Mike. I mean, you're asleep on your feet half the time.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, you cried.
I had something in my eye.
Oh, liar.
I did drop a few hints to Charlie, you know, about keeping his job open for him.
What did he say?
He said he'd call a strike if I didn't.
Not even in a union.
He didn't look too grand. He looked smaller.
Well, he wasn't very big in the first place.
And he looked old. I've never looked upon Charlie as being old before. I mean, I know he is, but I've always just thought of him as Charlie.
Peter Pan in a flat cap.
Anyway, he sent his love to you. He said, give my love to
Bossy Boots, yeah. So all this boils down to is the fact that he reckons he'll be back to work.
Except to say I don't think he will.
But you didn't.
Well, no. How could I?
No, how could you?
Anyway, it'll sort itself out.
Oh, yes.
Sooner or later.
That's all later.
Morning. Morning. I'll come round.
Helen?
All right.
Has Laura ever told you anything she might not have told me?
What?
Mike, we're very fond of you, really are, but you simply must stop this habit of coming around first thing in the morning, asking us bizarre questions.
Well, I suppose she must have done.
What?
Well, I don't know, things. I expect you've told Phil things that you wouldn't tell Laura.
Well, I can't think of any. Hey, well, that was, No, I mean serious things.
Well, when she was 10, she told me she wanted to be a missionary.
No, lately. I mean lately.
Now, look here, Mike. I'm not disclosing any of Laura's confidences, assuming there are any, without your being more specific.
It's a bit personal.
Would you want to write it down so you have to say it loud?
Is she pregnant?
I don't know.
Well, I certainly don't.
Neither do I.
But Laura would know.
Oh, of course you would.
Well, then be devious. Ask her.
She'd tell me if she were, wouldn't she?
Well, what makes you think she might be?
She was reading a book.
No, that's not how it happens, actually.
What sort of book?
About pregnancy.
Of that book? Well, that's mine. I lent it to her.
Why?
Well, we had a little discussion the other day about Helen.
About me.
Yeah, and Laura discovered that women don't automatically know everything about pregnancy.
Some women.
Yeah, some women. So I lent it to her.
Oh, well, that must be it then.
Unless...
Yes. Oh, thanks anyway. I'd better get off to work. Thanks for the coffee.
Well, cheers, mate.
Bye, mate.
What's that about?
What?
That unless.
Well, it's Mike. He's living with her, and if he hasn't got the gumption to ask her himself, he deserves to sweat a little.
Perhaps he doesn't want the subject raised at all. She wouldn't, would she?
Well, it has been known.
What, without telling him?
Well, that's been known as well.
You know, I'm not sure that pregnancy is all it's cracked up to be.
No?
Maybe I'm not naturally maternal.
Oh, probably not.
Helen is. She really wants this baby, but even she I mean, if Helen can't cope, what chance do I stand?
Do?
Well, would.
Would?
You seem very concerned about tenses.
Aren't you?
Why should I be?
Because there is a considerable difference between do and would. A very important difference. So is it do or would?
Is what?
Are you pregnant?
Of course I'm not pregnant. Oh, that!
Well, it's hardly what you call light reading, is it?
Well, if I was reading a book on mountaineering, you wouldn't assume I was going to go tearing up the nearest Alp, would you?
Well, why were you reading it then?
To be supportive for Helen. Suddenly I realised I didn't know what to be supportive about. Well, I wouldn't spring a baby on you, Mike. I mean, it's something we'd have to decide, something we'd have to talk about. We'd have to want one.
Oh, you don't, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Come in.
Mr. Selway, is it?
Yes? Can I help you?
I'm Jessie Harris, Charlie's sister.
Is he all right?
Oh, he's all right, sitting there giving his orders. I dare say you'd be. Bossy boots, yeah. Do you mind if I sit down? My leg's giving me jig.
No, go on.
How I got it all the way up here from Romford, I'll never know. Any tea in the pot?
I'll get some.
It's funny, I had you down as a big woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is Charlie all right?
Oh, like I said, sitting there like Lord Muck giving his orders. Do this, do that, run here, run there. I haven't been able to run anywhere since the coronation. Oh, Charles, very much. Charlie said it wasn't Buckingham Palace.
Mrs. Harris, did Charlie ask you to come here?
Oh, told me.
What about?
About keeping his job open.
Oh, well, I'm going to do that.
Well, you must be dafter than you look. You saw him the other night.
Well, I thought he looked pretty chipper.
Chipper?
Well, considering...
There'll always be a place for Charlie here, he knows that.
You're as daft as he is. Charlie won't be coming back.
Well, I would have thought that was for Charlie to say.
Right.
Yes. Only typical Charlie. He gets somebody else to do his dirty work for him.
But when I saw him the other night, he said that...
Well, not just hot air. He didn't want to let you down.
Good old Charlie.
Silly old fool.
What will he do?
He's coming to live with me in a bungalow at Romford. He'll be all right. We row all the time, but we've always got on, me and Charlie. Of course, if he thinks it's going to be a permanent convalescence, he's got another think coming.
I wish he'd have come himself.
So do I. Oh, I think he would have, only he likes you. He asked me to give you this.
Oh, perhaps I should give him something.
Oh, you already did. I can't think of many who'd have put up with Charlie as long as you did. Well, I'll best be off.
Well, can I get you a cab or something?
No, thanks. If Charlie's coming to live, I've got to get used to dashing round.
Tell him, give him my best.
And mine.
Of course I will. Bye-bye, then.
Bye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Hare. Old Skyver.
Yeah, I nearly forgot. He said the teapot was his.
We're catching up, Mike. Only 2 weeks behind now.
I wonder what the new bloke will be like.
Have you got one?
No, I just wonder what he'll be like.
How about a compulsive worker?
That'll do.
You look whacked. Why don't you go to bed?
Oh, no, I've been so busy lately. I've hardly seen anything of you. All we ever seem to talk about is work.
All right, let's chat.
Charlie will be all right.
Oh, Mike.
I'm sorry.
I phoned Helen this afternoon.
How is she?
Much better.
I didn't know she'd been ill.
Well, not ill exactly, just a bit peculiar.
Does Phil know?
Oh, yes, he knows. Yeah, he knows all right. It worried me for a bit seeing Helen so off balance, and it borders on the unnerving.
Of course, those hormonal changes during pregnancy do have some side effects.
How did you know that?
I read it in that book.
Oh, that book.
Puts you right off, doesn't it?
Yes.
Those diagrams are the worst.
Yes. Mind you, when you think of the end result, I mean, when you think of Phil and Helen with a little fillet or Helenette, I mean, I don't know, I'm probably being silly, but round about my age, perhaps you start to think soon it'll be too late, and then do you regret it? I don't know. I've thought about it a lot lately, Mike. It would help to talk about it. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really not sure, but I'm beginning to think that I really would like a baby. On the other hand, I could always settle for a budgerigar. Nothing, nothing.
A fine romance with no nestling. We two are just as prickly as cactus plants. Love hasn't got a chance. This is a fine romance.